Often when I start a guided meditation, I'll say something along the lines of, we can let our agendas go for now. I might say meditation is an experiment in seeing what happens when we let go of all our agendas in this moment. And it works with meditation often because when we're meditating, we're kind of disarmed because there's nothing about the situation that really threatens our ego or really threatens our identity structure, because we kind of know that we're going to meditate for a while and then stop. So it's easier to drop in this moment or let go of the illusion of time or the timeline of yourself and your life for half an hour than it is forever, right? So this is a little easier said than done outside of meditation, but I wanted to make the correlation because, let's say, natural meditation, or in Zen, what might be called shikantaza, this is a really good entry point. Just let go of your agendas. What is an agenda? An agenda is to feel more peaceful, to cultivate a certain mind state, to prepare for something, to avoid something, to let go of the past, to transcend something, or even if you don't know what it is, you're transcending, just to transcend, to achieve samadhi, a samadhi state, a concentrated mind state, to feel a certain way, to feel peaceful, to feel free, to feel like you have a concentrated mind, any number of things, to feel love. All of these are agendas. Now, I'm not saying that any of those in and of themselves are wrong or bad, or that there aren't other types of meditation that may focus on them. But when we talk about shikantaza, or we talk about natural meditation, what we're really doing is we're practicing having no agenda, having no goal. And by the way, you can practice this right now as you listen, because there's little difference between what I'm saying now and me giving a guided meditation on natural meditation or shikantaza. So what is it to have no agendas right now? What does it mean? What is an agenda, right? So to take it a little bit outside of the meditative environment and apply it to life, apply it to your day-to-day life, your usual life, the mundane, the predictable, let's say, even though it's not necessarily predictable, we want to believe it is. How do we approach this non-agenda or agendalessness in the day-to-day? I'll make one adjustment, and that adjustment is simple. It is that we're not even trying to get rid of agendas, right? That would be an agenda. So there's a couple ways you could take that. You can take it as a kind of twist up your mind trick or something, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be paradoxical or opaque. What I'm pointing out is that there's a way of experiencing this moment where there really are no agendas, including the agenda to have no agendas. And it's a kind of aliveness. It's alive. It's simple. It's here. It's morphing, fluxing. Seems to be ever fresh, changing. Always available. And it's always just this. Maybe I could say it's the sum total of all causes and conditions right now. The sum total of all sounds, sensations, movements, thoughts, consciousness. All of that is just how it is right now. Right here, right now. So from that standpoint, an agenda is really just a misperception of reality. An agenda is something like saying, well, I can make it different than it is. Can you? How can this be different than it is? This is exactly how it is. And if a thought comes saying, I'm going to make it different than it is, then that's exactly how it is. This isn't going to change because you want it to. This isn't going to change because the mind's making images that sort of reflect it and distort it to make it look a little different than it is. It doesn't change reality, right? It's like if I'm staring into a mirror, no matter how much I want that image to change, it's not going to change. I'd have to close my eyes and imagine it being different and then convince myself that the imagined image is the image in the mirror. Or worse, it's what's being reflected. None of that's true, but we do that with our mind all day long, right? So, agendalessness. I'll say it a different way. To have no agenda in this moment, in any moment, with you moving through the world, with you moving through your life, to have no agendas doesn't look like what we usually would think it looks like. For instance, and this sounds like a paradox, but I'll explain it. It doesn't mean having no goal. It doesn't mean having nothing you like. It doesn't mean that you don't prefer this or that. It's not that, actually. It's more fundamental to your experience of suffering than that. Because that doesn't make you suffer, actually. Having a preference doesn't make you suffer. And it's an observation, yeah? And that observation doesn't point to a self, but that's something that comes with realization at a deeper level. But more importantly, it's just a reflection on conditions, right? The conditions that bring forth the expression of you may prefer a vegetarian diet over a pescatarian diet, for instance. That's just what's happening. No big deal. That's not what I mean by an agenda. What I mean by an agenda is more along the lines of a hidden agenda, hidden from you. It's more along the lines of something that's been shaped and instilled into you through empathic mirroring, maybe through trauma, through subliminal communication that's happening all the time at a sort of macro level, meaning the messaging that we humans share among one another all day long about what it means to be a person and a human. And then sort of more like microcosms within that macro, maybe that have to do with belief systems, where you grew up, your political ideologies, what your family's like, what your family believes. But many of these are not the overt ones that we talk about, like, oh, I believe this, or I believe that, or I'm X political party. It's actually more unconscious than that. It's more unconscious. Like, why do you believe that? Why do you align with that particular mindset or that mentality or that political party? Or why, if you approach relationships a certain way because of your family dynamics, why do you do that? Maybe it's a deleterious habit, right? Maybe the habit you have toward a relationship is self-destructive and you know it, and yet you keep doing it. There's a reason, right? There are a set of beliefs that are unclear to you. When those become clear, when those become thoroughly clear, then they won't be agendas anymore. They won't be hidden agendas. They won't be influencing your behaviors and even the movement of your mind and the internal landscape of thought in the way they do now. So agendalessness, when we take it into the world, is really more about seeing into our hidden beliefs. Or else you won't reach agendalessness. You'll be clouded by belief. You'll be molded by belief. Your behavior will be molded by belief. You will be reifying various fixations based on belief and not even knowing it's happening. So it's, in my opinion, very important to remain vigilant about being willing to see what belief you may be operating from at any given moment. And sometimes getting help with that is good, right? Having that honest reflection from somebody who has the discernment to help you see it. That's what leads us to an agendalessness, and an agendalessness that's lived. To live shikantaza, which is possible, actually, is freedom. It's liberation. It's beautiful. It's available to you, for sure. But it's not exactly the same in etiology, development, and flexibility among different sets of conditions as the meditative version of shikantaza. The meditative version of shikantaza is like the staging ground. It's the training ground. But we can take that off the mat. that natural meditation where we have no agenda and we let attention move how it moves and we let consciousness move how it moves and we start to coalesce with it all until we don't even have to have the agenda of having no agendas. It's just clear that that's how this already is in a meditative experience. And then we can step out of that into more challenging environments, busy environments that often require cognitive processing, and then environments that require us to interact with others. Often that's one of the trickiest places to stay in the kind of non-dualistic flow state, let's say, or stay with the agendalessness is when we're interacting with others, especially people who have, let's say, strong personalities or that have personality structures that challenge you in various ways, especially unconsciously. Those are just more challenging situations, and we're all going to have them. We're all going to bump into those in the workplace, through friend groups. It's just going to happen, right? So just know that over time, your ability to stay in that, or I shouldn't say stay, because it's not really that you're staying in it. It's more just an ongoing, seamless, and stable recognition and actualization of the natural meditative realization will clarify with time, and it's absolutely available. But it will take some inquiry. That's kind of the point, right? It will take some inquiry into those hidden beliefs that are forming and formulating our agendas that happen so quickly that we don't even realize they're shaping how we interact, how we think about ourselves. They're shaping even our energetic physiology as far as like how the energy is moving in our body and so forth, especially in triggering situations. So hopefully that's a little clearer than mud. Let me know how that lands and whether you want any more on that.